we're going to be learning today statistical versus non-statistical questions. So we're already starting off our unit 4 statistics. Okay, so let's see if we could answer some questions here. Statistics, yes, Amy. So our goal is to recognize and identify statistical and non-statistical questions by collecting data on a given problem. So let's see later on how Saba's gonna help us to us. So, but before I start, let me ask you this question: swimming in a pool or in the beach or nothing at all, or I don't know what you like. Let's talk about it right away. Who would like to share? Quick, Urain.
I think it depends. If it's hot outside, you can go in the pool. If it's like cold inside, you can go out in the beach.
Oh, why is it disgusting, Aiden? Why is it disgusting? Hi, Joy.
I think it's the sand.
It's because of the sand.
According to Aiden,
Joy.
Oh, there
depends,
are some.
actually.
It depends where you go. You go to a nice place, they don't litter there. They pick them up.
Why can't you just make a homemade mini beach? Like grab a bunch of sand, have like one room just full of sand and
What if
water.
I live in a building? Safa's in.
Yeah,
Anybody else? Anyone else? Little so pretty. I know. Anyone else would like to share? Alana, go ahead.
It depends. If the pool is warm, then I'll go to the pool because I like it when it's warm water. But if it's not, if it's the same temperature as the beach water, I guess I'll go to the beach because I get to also use the sand.
Correct. You know the beach is always.
I'll rather
always
go
cold.
to the pool.
You'd
But
rather
then the
go
beach
to.
is quite nice. But then last time I went to Coney Island, the beach was like really bad.
Oh, I know. It depends. And
I
it
like
really
going to the pool because there's usually cold water there, and also it's like really fun to swim.
That's
But
nice.
the thing is, last time I had like swimming lessons, and then it was like in the middle of December, and like my pool was like freezing. And the teacher told us to jump into like the deep end, and we're like, no.
Oh, on the other side of that swimming pool. Yeah, that's true.
Let's just say it's in the summer, not the winter. That way, people won't freeze to death.
Correct.
And get hypothermia or
that's
something.
correct. Statistical question and not statistical question. So the question doesn't have one correct answer or two correct answers. So we'll see what Savas will share to us, okay?
Identify and write statistical questions. Think about this question during the lesson.
So the question is, how can you identify and write statistical questions? All right, so let's look at this example.
Mr. Borden asked his students a question and recorded the data in the table. Which of the following is a statistical question that Mr. Borden could have asked? What is the area of an 8 1/2 inch by 11 inch sheet of notebook paper? How many sheets of paper did you use last week? Did Bill use notebook paper to write his book report?
So these questions, so I have three questions here, right? What is the area of 8 1/2 by 11 sheet of notebook paper? How many sheets of paper did you use last week? And did Bill use notebook paper to write his book report? And this is the table that we have. You already have a question? Alana, you already have a question?
No, I have an answer.
Oh, you already have
I
an answer?
have an answer.
All right, let's try and let's compare it later if we got it correct. Alana, what's your answer?
I'm thinking the second one because the third one, that's well, you don't have to use notebook paper, but that has nothing to do whatsoever with the question. The first one, sure, you can ask that question. It's a reasonable question, but it doesn't have anything to do with the paper.
Okay.
How many sheets of paper did you use last week? That's the only one that seems reasonably close to the table because it says sheets of paper used each week.
All right, Tiffany, you want to add something?
I agree with Alana and would like to add on. What is the area? The first question has one answer and it can't vary as much as the second question. And the third question is a yes or no question, which means it is not statistical because usually statistical questions are not yes or no and do not have a just yes or no. It's like a lot of many answers, not just one answer.
That's correct. But there are a lot of you have asking what is a statistical question and what is not statistical. I did not answer Alana. I did not confirm Alana or Tiffany's observation. But let's watch this video first, and then at the end we'll see if we're correct or not. Okay?
Like, can I say can I?
Yes, go ahead, Selena. What is it?
So a statistical question is like a question where you have to gather data to find the answer.
Okay.
And a non-statistical question is just a yes or no question.
Let's look at, guys, save your information and save your idea, and then we could conclude at the end of the video. Okay? Let's watch.
A statistical question anticipates that there will be a variety of answers. What does it mean for a question to have a variety of answers?
When you say variety, what does it mean? It's another word. What is another word for variety? Alana?
Many, so basically it has to be more than one.
All right.
Well, usually, it could be like
A
more
lot.
than one or two. So yeah,
A
a
lot.
lot of answers.
Correct. Omar?
I was gonna say the same thing because usually we use variety to show that, for example, we have different varieties of foods and different types and different, like many of them.
That's true. All right, let's see.
The question does not have one correct answer. The answer to the question depends on who responds.
So the question will be asked, but it depends on you ask a person or you ask a group. So if a question doesn't have one correct answer, so if you're gonna say what is 1 plus 1, that's definitely not statistical. But if you're gonna say what is the class favorite food, so you're asking the whole group, so that could be statistical question. But if I just gonna say what is Alana's favorite theme park, so you're asking only Alana. Alana has only one favorite theme park, so that has one perfect answer. But if you're gonna ask the question, what is the class 614's favorite theme park? So that has a variety of answers. So it depends on who responds and what the question is.
How can you tell by looking at the tally chart what the various responses were? The first column shows the various answers, or the different numbers of sheets of paper used. The second column tells how many students gave that response.
Remember the three questions that that she posted a while ago? Let's see if which of those questions give us statistical and not statistical answer. Question.
The question, how many sheets of paper did you use last week, may be answered in various ways by Mr. Borden's students. So it is a statistical question.
So it could be answered, so these are the number of sheets and these are the number of students who respond. So there is one student who used only 5, but there are only 5 students who use 30 sheets of paper. There are 4 students who use 20. So there's different variation of the answer. That's why that question, the first question that we had, is statistical question.
The questions, what is the area of an 8 1/2 inch by 11 inch sheet of notebook paper, and did Bill use notebook paper to write his book report, have only one correct answer, so they are not statistical questions. You can display the data in the tally chart in a bar graph.
So question is, how is this two data related? Maybe later on they could ask you a question, statistical, not statistical questions based on the graph, or what possible questions they were asked. How is this table related to this bar graph? I could not see who's raising hand other than people. Tiffany, go ahead.
So they hold the same data, they're just graphed in a different format.
Okay. So they are. This is just a table form, and that is a graph form.
I agree with Tiffany, but they all are the same thing. But the table form has like a graph kind of information. The other one, not the table form, and the table form has a tally and the numbers information.
Correct. So let's see. For example, number 2, we're looking on Lucia's survey. What kind of graph is this, guys? What kind of graph is this? So Lucia surveyed the students in her class and made a dot plot of the result. What is the question Lucia could have asked? Urain?
The question can be like, how many students took, what kind of surveys took, like, what kind of surveys were taken by the students.
All right, so remember, look at this, the graph, the students' weekly exercise and number of days. So Alana, what do you think could be a possible question has been asked in this?
I'm thinking that whatever this person's name is was maybe actually for class or a group of students. How many days of the week did they exercise?
That's correct. Anybody else? What do you think is the question being asked in this problem?
Like in how many days were all the students exercised?
That is also true. Let's see what Saba said. Lucia surveyed the students, right, in her class and made a dot plot. Did you guys learn dot plot already in elementary school?
I know what a dot plot is.
I know what it is.
Yeah.
I recognize this.
Yeah.
Dot plot is like a
but
tally.
we don't really
You don't really learn it. So let's say, for example, number
Yeah.
of days. Like let's look at this dot plot. Number of days and students' weekly exercise. So at 0 day, there are 0 students who exercise. So like for example, for this week, so there are day 1, number of days, right? So day 1, 1 day, there are 1, 2, 3 students who were able to do exercise. For day 2, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Day 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And day 6, there is none. And day 7, there is 1. So the question is, what question could Lucia have asked? All right, let's look at you already have answered that. So let's look at what it is. So the possible question is, how many days do you exercise each week? So for me, I exercise. I don't know. I'll be bad to tell you, but lately these days are just sitting in a computer and doing paperwork. So number of exercise for me is 0. I'm one of them. Does playing the park count? Yes, playing the car in the park counts as your exercise. Yeah. So we really have
Does
to go back.
repeatedly circling your block around and around infinitely on your bicycle, racing your siblings and your aunt and cousin count?
Correct. That
Riding
would be,
the bike
it
counts, so
it
yeah.
counts. As long as you move your body, that counts. Okay. Question number 3, or example number 3. Dante surveyed the students to see how they feel about the proposal to choose a new mascot. The frequency table shows here what is the question that shows the result. What question did Dandy likely ask? Is this a statistical question? Remember this morning you said yes and no? So we'll identify if we were correct when they ask questions yes or no, if it is statistical or not. Let's look at what Saba said. So let's look at what it is said. This is example number 3. So the survey here, we have the tally here, we have the questions here. So what question do you think Dante did ask? Alana, what do you think he asked?
I'm thinking he asked, like, do you agree with the proposal to make a new school mascot, yes or no? And I kind of don't think this is a statistical question because it only has 2 answers and that's not much of a variety. Like if I gave you an option between left and right, that's not a statistical question because you only have 2 options. No, I don't think that's a statistical question.
You might be surprised, Alana. Omar, you were raising hand before.
I think the question that you probably asked is, do you guys like the new school mascot? And this is not a statistical question because if it were statistical questions, it would probably more than one answer.
All right. So let's see. You and Alana said not statistical. Tiffany?
I think the question is, should we change our school mascot?
Okay.
And the answers were yes and no. But I know what I said earlier about yes and no yes or no questions, but that's only for one person. If it's for one person only, then it won't be statistical. But this is for many people in the entire school, and there were a bunch of people who said yes and more people who said no, meaning you were still collecting data to find out the answer. So yes, I think it is a statistical question.
Oh, you stand your point, Tiffany. Let's see if it's correct. Who among your guys are correct? Let's see what it says. So Dante likely asked question, do you want a new mascot? Do you want a new one? Do you like the new one? So there are only 2 answers, yes or no. Because there's more than one possible answer, this is a statistical question. All right? Tiffany was correct when she explained to us, like, because it was surveyed more than one people. If we only ask one person, then the answer is yes. If we only ask like Omar, do you like this? And Omar said no. So there's only one question, but it was surveyed. Every time that you got surveyed student means you are collecting data. Tiffany was correct for that one. Applause for that, Tiff. All right, so I make myself clear. Like, for example, what is your name, Omar? You could say, I'm Omar. You cannot just change that. So if you're gonna say, who amongst 6th grade students have the name Eve? So you're gonna collect data and see how many of there are Eves, right? So who likes the names Eve? Or who likes the name John? Who likes ice cream? Who likes vanilla? So if you survey, then it is you most likely do a statistical question. All right? Anybody else got a question for that? Very clear. So let's try the example problem in Savas and let's work on that statistical and not statistical question. Okay, so go to your Google Classroom.
The team name is Cussing Cuckoo, so I just
and
apply.
So the mascot of our school is Cougar. Yay! So
then there's the whole paw point thing, and then in the orientation there was something about paw points or whatever.
Correct. So like Cougar points, Cougar Cash, but we never use that this year because we eventually for the entire year we are remote, so we never use Cougar Cash. We have Cougar store. When you collect Cougar Cash later on next year, maybe we'll experience that you could buy them items from our store.
It's kind of like something they do in after school, like the Sonic after school. They have you just have to schedule an appointment to go there.
That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, my cousin Devin got a bunch of stuff.
Oh, that's correct.
Something about points.
Correct. So next year, well, definitely 100% we're going back to school. So every time your teacher every time you're gonna do something nice, it will be given to you. So you were given a cash, and that Cougar Cash that you have gonna be used to buy something in Cougar store. Very, very cool. All right, everyone. Bye for now, and see you again next time for our next lesson. Enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.